Welcome to today's brief look into two empires that emerged in South Asia, more commonly referred to as India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh today, during the Second Wave era. Before we talk about the Maurya and Gupta empires, however, we need to understand a little historical context. First, it's important to keep in mind that the Indian subcontinent is a very culturally and linguistically diverse region, and therefore was very difficult to unite politically. In fact, it was never fully united until it was colonized by the British in the 19th century. Somewhere between 1700 and 1200 BCE, a group of Indo-European nomads called Aryans migrated into South Asia, probably from Central Asia. This group dominated the local inhabitants, and by around 600 BC, they had established many small, independent kingdoms throughout South Asia. Within these kingdoms, many small remote villages emerged. It was the Aryans who brought the caste system into South Asia, as well as the Vedic traditions, which evolved into Hinduism. In 326 BCE, Alexander the Great brought the Indus River Valley region under Macedonian control, but when he left, he opened the door for local Indian rulers to fight for control of the region. This is the situation that helped establish the Mauryan dynasty. In 321 BCE, a popular military leader in the Indian kingdom of Nanda by the name of Chandragupta Maurya led a rebellion and overthrew the king. With a huge army which included 60,000 foot soldiers, 30,000 cavalry soldiers, and 9,000 elephants, Chandragupta conquered various Indian kingdoms. And by 303 BCE, his empire stretched over 2,000 miles, uniting much of northern India for the first time. He ruled with the assistance of a man named Kautilya, who wrote a sort of political handbook called the Arthashastra. In it, Kautilya advised the use of spies, political assassination, and an effective bureaucracy, hey, there's that word again, as a means to rule an empire. Chandragupta and his successors used these methods to unite the kingdoms into an empire. In addition to a vast spy network and high taxes, he divided the empire into 4 provinces, each headed by a royal prince. These provinces were further divided into local districts run by local officials who collected taxes and enforced the empire's laws. In 301 BCE, Chandragupta was succeeded by his son, and in 269 BCE, his grandson, Ashoka, assumed the throne. Ashoka, or Asoka, spelled without the H, is the most well-known and last Mauryan empire. Ashoka expanded the empire even further by waging a series of brutal wars. It was after a particularly bloody war with the kingdom of Kalinga, over 100,000 soldiers and even more civilians died in that one, that a distraught Ashoka decided to embrace Buddhism. Throughout the empire, Ashoka had erected stone pillars that were inscribed with his policies, which were based on Buddhist principles, including charity and toleration. He also ordered the construction of many domed Buddhist monuments known as stupas. To help rule the empire and spread Buddhist teachings, a vast network of roads with wells dug every 9 miles was constructed. Ashoka died in 232 BCE. After Ashoka's death, he was succeeded by a series of weaker kings who could not hold the empire together, and the Mauryan Empire ended in 185 BCE. South Asia did not experience political unity again until the rise of the Gupta Empire 500 years later. The Gupta Empire began when Chandragupta, by the way, no relation to Chandragupta Maurya, I know that's confusing, of the northern Indian state of Magadha, became Maharaja, or Great King, after he married the daughter of a powerful royal family in 320 CE. Chandragupta's son expanded the empire, and it was under his grandson, Chandragupta II, that the empire reached its peak. Although the Gupta Empire was not as large as the Mauryan Empire, it was during the reign of Chandragupta II that the empire experienced a golden age. During this golden age, Indian writers, scientists, mathematicians, and doctors achieved great advancements. A short list of achievements during the Gupta Empire include the invention of the decimal system, the mathematical concept of zero, and calculating the value of pi. Gupta astronomers proved that the Earth was indeed round and calculated the length of the solar year. Gupta doctors were able to perform numerous surgeries. Universities were established where even women were allowed to receive an education. Much of the golden age of the Gupta Empire was helped by the expansion of profitable trade with the Mediterranean world. Much like the death of Ashoka, the Gupta Empire did not survive long after the death of Chandragupta II, who died in 415 CE. After his death, he was succeeded by weaker rulers who could not keep this diverse empire together, as it was being invaded by Huns from the north. The empire came to an end around 535 CE when it disintegrated once again into smaller regional kingdoms. To sum up what I hoped you got from this lecture, throughout its long history, the Indian subcontinent was difficult to unite politically. This was due to the ethnic and linguistic diversity of the region and the development of several smaller regional kingdoms and remote independent villages. Despite that, the area did experience two periods of political unity during this second wave era under the Mauryan and Gupta empires. It was during the Gupta Empire that India experienced a golden age of artistic and intellectual achievement. Thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful day.